viewers, welcome to the mini series on what after 12th or what after second PUC. Right. So I am your Karthik Kate and I have my friend Vikas Hiremat with me. Welcome, Vikas.
Thank you, Karthik.
Vikas has completed his integrated MSc from VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, and recently he has cleared CSIR net and he is very interested in doing research and PhD. Right. So in this session, in this overall session, we are going to come to know about this. What is this basic science, that is BSc, MSc, and about integrated MSc, and what is this CSIR net, why we do that, and how will be the research, that thing we are going to discuss, right? So I request Vikas to tell about his journey till 12th. How did he come up with, how was his childhood and everything?
Okay, Karthik. So basically, I grew up in Basankurchi near Belgaum, and I studied up until fifth standard in Sambra Kannada Primary School, and then I got into Navodaya, where I met Ukraine people, and then up until 12th, yeah, I was an okay kid, I guess.
I know Vikas, from 6th to 12th we were desperate, and now this friendship continues. It is more than 1 decade, I guess. uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and he scored very nice in 10th also. He did 95 percentage. We had CGP, I guess, so it was 10, right?
yeah, 10. But I never expected myself to score 10 in the first place. But
Later on 12th, he became like there, like first rank. He got all 95 marks. He called me, ಏ ಕಾರ್ತ ಏನ್ಲೇ ನನಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು 95 ಏನ್ ಸಿ ಜಿ ಪಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ ಇನ್ನು 12th ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜು ಅಂತಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ. ತಡಿಪ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಂದು 87, ಒಂದು 95, ಒಂದು ಇಂಜಿನ್ಗಳು ನಿಂದ ಏನೈತದ ಖರೇನೆ ಐತಪ್ಪ, 95 ಆಗೈತೆ ನಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ 95. He got physics, chemistry, math, biology, English, all these five subjects 95, and his percentage was 95. Later on,
no. So you can understand my confusion, because everything was 95, and I couldn't figure out like, is this a grade mark or actual mark? So, yeah.
because how was your preparation during this 11th and 12th? How much serious you were in 11th, and what was that condition in 12th?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know the situations, but I guess, and 11th we were never serious. I would say we were serious only when exams came. That's about it. And I think if I check my 11th score, I think it's 80 or something like that. That's it. And 12th class also, in the beginning we were very casual, I guess. I didn't take any summer classes during 12th also, and same thing. And at the end of 12th, almost during January, I guess, during second pre-board, I guess, then actually I started serious. And those 2 3 months, up until like from January, February, and the beginning of March, that preparation made all the difference. So basically, I never studied from the beginning. I did study whatever that was told, but I was never that serious.
How
But I
was
got only serious at the end.
how was your way of studying? Whether you used to listen to the class clearly, or you have, I have seen you because you never read
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah,
Everything
yeah,
I
yeah. Well, it's not about that. The thing is like, yeah, I listened to the class carefully, and I made my own notes. And once I read it properly from the textbook or from any notes, so I was, if I was pretty okay with the concept, then I wouldn't have to read it again up until the exam comes. So that was it. And maths and physics, that actually took a lot of practice.
hmm.
Actually, if you remember, I was not good at physics, and I used to take classes from you, like all the derivations and concepts. So yeah, that
What we had benefit was we were like attended classes right in 2 months holiday.
yeah.
12th, but the thing there we got notes, so that you used to take. No class, nothing.
Yeah, and that is the key to being a good student, or good at anything in teaching, learning, education. Actually, it's just that you begin early. If you begin early, you have a head start, and you go further than anybody.
Uh,
So
then how was your like what you have determined during 12th, whether I have to join engineering, medical? What was in your mind?
yeah, well, I didn't decide in actually 12th class. I had decided it long before.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you know how ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ MBBS ತಗೋ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ತಗೋ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಾಕ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ BSc MSc ಮಾಡಂಗ್ಯ. So this is how they normally, that hierarchy of education degrees. But from I guess 7th, 8th itself, I was more drawn towards science, I guess. So uh, when I read books on these great scientists and science fiction, so I was more moved by that than being a doctor or an engineer. So I think from an early age, I knew in my heart that I wanted to do basic science.
Oh. Because I know you got good ranking in engineering. I guess it was 1,300 in engineering and 1,400. During our time, there was no NEET. Everything was through KCET only. Why did
Yeah.
you choose this BSc? Like because see, good ranking means see somebody thinks if I do engineering within 4 years, I can get a job or what, like that somebody thinks. And even your father called me and told, ಏ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇವು ಇದನ್ನ BSc ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳು ಅವನಿಗೆ ನೀ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಅಂತಂತಂದು ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವರು. ಹೇಳು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಮಾಡೆ MBBS ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನತ್ತಿದ್ರು.
Yeah, yes, same thing. I told you, like ನಾ ಮೊದ್ಲಿಂದನ ಅದನ್ನೇನ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಂಗೆ MBBS ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದಿರ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನಂದ್ಲೆ. So it was like when I got good ranking in KSET, it didn't make any difference to me. Actually, in fact, if you remember, in the counseling ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ, but I didn't attend the counseling itself. I did not even attend the counseling for KSET. So I was like very fixed on this one thing. So and actually, even for getting into VIT, I didn't apply for the applications actually, because ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರ ಹುಬ್ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರು, ನಾವ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಏನಿತ್ತು ಬರೇ KSET ಹಾಕಿದ್ದು, JEE ಹಾಕಿದ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಉಳ್ಕಿದ್ದೇನು ಇದಿಲ್ಲ. So for VIT application, my brother had to fill it for me. I had actually, before he like I think midterm, I guess, when I came here, he asked me to put a couple of signatures, thumbprints, and photo and all, so that he could upload when it was time to fill any application.
ಓಹೋ, ವಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದು ಹಿಂಗಂದ್ರ ಅದ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ನವೋದಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಊರ್ ಹೊರಗಿರ್ತಾವ. ಅವ್ರ ಬೆಳಗಾವ್ ನವೋದಯ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೋತ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಬಾಳ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಹುಡುಗರಂಗ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೆಣೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಿಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರ, ಬಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಏನಿರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಏನೇನು, ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಕೋದು. ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಜಿಯೋ ಗಿಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. So that was the thing.
Yeah. But the thing is, like we are doing pretty good now, right? Like considering.
Yeah.
so I don't take it as a demerit, but yeah, we had some issues there.
Issues then ವಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಈ ಒನ್ಸ್ VIT ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಐತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹಂಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ.
Okay. So basically, while if you want to apply for VIT, you will have to apply pretty early. VIT Triple E, like how you apply for same KSET or JEE. So VIT Triple E is basically meant for only BTech courses, engineering courses, anything in engineering. Okay, but I did write that I got around 16,000 something, a rank of 16,000 something, and 16,000 something is actually a good rank considering. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ, because see, there they have categories depending on which they take the fees. There is no reservation there. He's a private institute, so he can do what he likes, I guess. So uh, my application to integrated MSc was actually a separate one, which was based on my score in class 12 board exam. So, so like you said, I got 95. So that was a good score, and in the counseling, I got a good rank again. So, and that's about it. And I think integrated courses are in many institutes right now. But back then, when I looked for biotech, VIT was the only one offering it. So my choice was pretty obvious.
So ಈಗ
And and if you want to have any more information, so you can go to the VIT website. It's all there.
ಈಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 12th ಮಟ್ಟ ಏನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋದು. BSc ಬ್ಯಾಚುಲರ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ MSc ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಬೋತ್ BSc ಅಂಡ್ MSc ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ MSc ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ 5 years ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಈಗ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ನಾ ಹಂಗ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ. there they will give separately BSc for 3-year courses and MSc you have to write again entrance in Karnataka
University. And let me add a point here. So it depends on how you want to pursue your degree, in the sense how clear are you about the subject. Because ninga illa na maths ana ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ physics ana ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ chemistry ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇತ್ತಂತಿರೋ 12th ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ. Hello.
Yeah, all audible, Vikas.
So if you are very clear about what you want to do, so you better go for a integrated course, because for all the 5 years you are going to be learning about a single subject and the allied information which comes from other fields also. But if you are going to take a normal BSc, you will have to study all the 3 subjects, like in your case PCM, right? Physics, chemistry and mathematics. But you did your MSc in organic chemistry. So I think if you see, some of the concepts of maths and physics are not even relevant to your course. So basically if you are not clear, then you can go for all the 3 and then get some information and then go for a major specialization in MSc. Or else if you know what you want to do, and if you are very clear about the concepts and all, you can actually go for an integrated course, which will benefit you more, because if you are in that particular field for a longer period of time, you have more time to get to know the concepts, get to know the research, how are the trends. You have time to get comfortable with the subject. That's all.
Yeah, that is clear. Because how was your journey in VIT? What else you came up with, along with studies, what all the things you learned there?
Well, VIT was a real turning point for me, if you ask me, because back in school I was a very introverted kid. I didn't speak much or participate much in anything. But VIT took a different turn. So I was actually the class representative, and they made me do a lot of things, and so I had to be proactive a lot of the times. And when it comes to VIT has a very huge population of students, over about 30,000, and so basically you will be in constant touch with people, so you need to communicate properly. So and it was very normal, in the sense same thing. I was just out of Navodaya. I hadn't had any phone with me or laptop with me, and I go to VIT. I have a laptop of my own. I have a phone of my own. I have free Wi-Fi. So I did what any kid would do. I watch movies and TV series a lot. For the first 2 years, I think I only did that, I guess. So I was serious about the studies. I, like you said, right? I listened to the classes, and I studied. If I studied once, I was okay with it, and so rest of the time I watched a lot of series and all, and that in fact actually helped me in improving my English skills, because
Yeah,
before it was like I had the knowledge but I didn't know how to say it properly.
execute.
So yeah, so I think if you compare me and like how we spoke before and now, especially when it comes to English, I think I'm much better now, much more comfortable with talking English. And that and participation, public participation, that was
Hmm.
most, because when you have like 100 people in your class, you have to be outreaching to everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
And yes, and VIT has some of the programs in which you'll need to participate more, and it draws out your talents naturally, I guess.
yeah,
And yeah, that's about it, I would guess. And like it was nothing out of the normal. It was pretty normal, and we went on a lot of trips with my friends, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
and how this VIT helped you for this? How did you get into this research about project and all? Just a brief.
Yeah, well, during my third year, I guess, I had this. So VIT has this startup venture incubation. So it is called VIT TPI, and I had up I and a couple of other MTech students, we had applied for it, and we got it. There were around 40 projects, and they funded only three of them. So we got some funding, and we started doing some work. So I used to actually miss my classes and go do the project. So uh, then I figured out, like, I was not meant to sit in a class and learn stuff, but go in the lab and do some work actually. And whatever you difficulties you face in that particular day, you'll have to come back and sit down and read research papers, and go through a lot of videos. You had to search a lot to get your things right.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was intriguing to me. That made me
Yeah.
go ahead with the research.
Then this one after this MSc, right? And with this PhD research work, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So there will be like CSRNet, which will give funding for this research for 5 years, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah.
About the CSR preparation and the funding, about that, just speak briefly.
Yeah, well, so basically, if you are going to do a PhD, you need to pay the university for your fees and all. But the thing is, yeah, you are almost 23 and you cannot rely on your parents from now on.
Yeah,
Yeah, because a grown man with support from his parents is not a good look.
good.
And yeah, so what CSIR and UGC and these NET Gate and all these competitive exams, scholarship exams, what they do is they basically give you monthly stipends so that you can support yourself while you are doing your PhD.
PhD.
Yeah, so I had eye on what CSIR back when I was in second, third year of my college. So I knew that I had to write this exam and clear if I'm going to make it to PhD without help of my parents. So yeah, the preparation actually was a bit crazy, as in the sense. Well, I intended to clear it in 2019 December, but I couldn't prepare it properly, like all first timers. So but I was back in college then, so I had my courses, I had my exams and everything. So I didn't pay much attention,
Attention.
and Yeah. So the exam just went by, but I did score a pretty good score. So that helped me boost up my confidence. And when yeah, right after my project got ended for MSc thesis, so I basically I so I came home, and the Corona lockdown started, right? So when it started, so I had plenty of time, and my project VIT, like it had its procedures, its timing. So by the end of June, I was pretty much done with my project and all. So from June till November, almost couple of months, I was only focused on this exam preparation. And yeah, I think I did prepare hard, I guess, because the last time I didn't get it. So I knew that Corona lockdown had given me some time because the exam was postponed by 3 months. So I knew I had to make use of this time properly. So I think I made it.
How much they will fund, Vikas? What was that criteria?
Yeah, okay. The criteria is for GRF, they pay you around 31 or 32 plus HRA per month.
Uh,
Yeah, which is pretty good because the college fees for PhD per year is around like 15,000 or something. So
then we can save money and we can invest on our project also.
yeah, because see, if after MSc, if I go to a company and do a job, I might not even get around 35 also. I will
Yeah.
not get, believe me, because my other classmates are doing. And so basically, if you are getting a degree along with getting the same amount of salary you would get from a job, I think I would take that over any day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So this is the journey of Vikas. And what was your inspiration throughout this, Vikas? Inspiration, motivation, everything.
Huh. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I don't know if you have noticed, but back in school itself, I had to have my, we used to do a lot of scrapbooks, right? Like cut out pictures of Sachin, Dhoni, and all, put
Yeah,
it all
yeah,
in a book.
yeah.
And yeah, so like that. So when we used to do that, I had a book of my own by the side where I would write, I think many of us had back then, a good quotes that we used to, write whichever we saw from the library or somewhere, and we used to actually have thoughts in the assembly, right? We have to say it
Say it.
like so yeah, that one. When I used to do that, I had a separate book of my own where I used to write the things I find interesting. And now I look back at it, it's I don't know. It's crazy, I guess, because I was in class 9 and I had written all these things about evolution, nuclear fission, fusion, special theory of relativity, which I don't even, I can't think that a 9 kid should be, writing stuff about that. But yeah, that and I was intrigued by the stories of scientists. Like how they say that. The patience they had to put in through their work, the years they had to wait just to get a single result. And right after that, even if their discoveries have to be made public and gain popularity, it would take another 10-20 years. So
Yeah.
like I thought it was pretty interesting, and a lot of things about penicillin being discovered very accidentally, the and if you ask me one more, like what would what was the most like inspirational story in particular? So it would be of Rosalind Franklin. So she was the scientist involved in this discovery of structure of DNA, right? So but she only comes in a footnote.
Mm.
Actually, she did everything. She did all the work, but Crick and Watson got all the
Great.
fame, Yeah,
Mm.
and Wilkins also got the Nobel Prize for the same because he only supplied those papers from Rosalind Franklin to Watson and Crick in secret. So basically, that was the biggest scam of the century for 20th century, and yet it is celebrated as the one of the biggest discoveries in science. So yeah, so so things like that, if you ask me. So because she again went on to do virus research, and she did pretty good for her own, but and she didn't care if who took the fame or anything. She was all up for science. She just wanted to see things done. That's all. So things like that.
Because little few words for like few two students.
Okay.
Give any advice for studying as well as for life.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about life because mine is just beginning. But studying, I can say a couple of things. Because see, like we were David discussing back then, we didn't have much information, right? As in what we should do after class 12, huh? And where should we apply? Because we only applied to a very few places where our Hubli sir told us to apply for
Apply
CET,
for.
JEE, and that's what we did, and not anything else, I guess. So what the students of today have an edge over us is the information, the internet, the smartphones in your hand. Because I don't think any of us had a smartphone in your hand except you, right? That to your father's phone. So we didn't have access to good technology back then, and we were restricted to use it. So, but now we know that how technology can help us get through a lot of difficult situations. So, 12th class students now have access to smartphones, internet, everything. So they can actually, if they have any doubt, they can just go to YouTube and put the doubt as in, you know, as if they are asking the very next person and get everything, right? So they should make use of this particular feature because you go you we didn't have many people. If we had to get information, we had to ask to what seniors, teachers,
Senior. Yeah,
some physical form of. But here you can get it anywhere, and I think they should make a better use of it because I learned that after joining VIT that internet can be a very good thing, and if you use it rightly, you can do a lot of amazing stuff.
yeah.
Because like I said, and right now I'm trying to do my PhD in something related to bioinformatics, which is all about what computers can do in biology. So yeah, that, and one more thing is like uh, we what we do in class 12th and all is we just we don't have the bigger picture. So I think it's okay, but what you need to do is focus on your studies at that moment and just get through it somehow. Yes. And just find something that makes you tomorrow I should find out about this, something like that. If you have a question every now and then about some subjects, you should pursue it till the end. And one more advice is if you are actually good at something, and if you are getting very good praises from your classmates, teachers, and all, it's not necessary that you should do that, because sometimes whatever you are good at gets you praise, and it gets you trapped in a very bad place where you can't come out of. It's not what you are good at, is what you want to do.
To do. Yeah. So we have to
Yeah.
choose what we like, not what others like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like yeah, if you, yeah, if you are good, then it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pursue in that particular thing,
Yeah, yeah.
because something that excites you might be something very different than what you are good at.
Mm. Yeah. So this is the session with Vikas. So I hope this has helped you to know about this basic science research work and all the things. If you have any queries, please comment it below. Right? If queries are more, we can come up with one more video. I am not going to give his contact details. You can comment if any necessary. I can like I can give it by asking him later on. Right? So this is about this. Vikas, thanks for sharing your time, man.
Okay. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, it's my pleasure actually. If you ask me, I would never do such a thing as make a video and put it on YouTube. But yeah, I think you are only as crazy as your friends, and I'm glad I got a crazy one.
Thanks, man. Thank you. So I hope you like this video. If so, give me a like button, share with your friends so that it will be helpful for them. And if you are not a member of this channel, become a member by subscribing it. Thank you.